Okay, bestie, it's part 2. Let's see what else Spirit wants you to know about this man. Bestie, I'm getting this message that I can't promise you perfection, but I can promise you effort. I can promise you I will try. I'm getting that this person, again, there's like a lot of Viking imagery on the cards that I'm pulling, and that isn't like a theme throughout the deck. It's just like those cards happen to have a Viking. This person could have some kind of like Viking energy. Like they might be more of like a warrior class. So realizing that, you know, you can't be this big brute if you want to build this very beautiful, you know, palace for this amazing high priestess woman that you are idolizing. You have to realize that like the thing that attracts you to her so much is that she is so different from yourself. But in order to honor those differences, in order to meet this other person's needs that are very different from your own, because you are very different people, you're going to have to integrate some of their energy for yourself. In order to understand that person, you're going to have to suss out the parts of you that resonate with them because they are the same. So I think this man is both realizing that like you need a gentle touch, and he's also realizing that like that same impulse lives in him too. There's a reason that he's attracted to it, and the reason he's attracted to it is because it mirrors an impulse that he also has. And I think a lot of people like misunderstand that, you know, they don't really get that. They're attracted to someone who's very different from them, and they're like, this drives me crazy. Like, this is such a difference. Like, why do I always attract people like this that are so different from me? Bestie, it's because the universe is trying to mirror to you a disowned part of self. There's a part of you that is also like that. And that person is just showing it to you, showing you, hey, look, you can own this and it's lovable. You can meet this need. It's not something that's beyond you. It's actually living right inside of you, and you would freaking love it if somebody like did that same thing for you, and you're just afraid to admit that. So bestie, this person is coming to terms with that truth, which previously like wasn't even something that was on their radar. I'm just getting that like where their ego was, where they were in their spiritual and emotional development, that wasn't even on the map. That was like a part of the map that hadn't even been unlocked yet. So you're probably pretty freaking frustrated with this person if it's someone from your past. Because you were like talking to them in a language that sounded like English, but words that they just, you know, they were hearing them, but they weren't actually comprehending anything that was being said because it was a concept that was foreign to them. I'm getting that this person, though, is seeking enlightenment. And they might not call it that. That might just be like what their soul is letting you know. But this person wants to be better. They want to be better for you. They want to meet your needs. Aw, bestie. This person, I'm getting that they want to be like in a domestic situation with you. They want to be in like this, we live together, our lives are together, our routines are together, you know, we're building this side by side. I'm giving, you're giving, like we're both giving to each other. There's an exchange of energy. There's an equal exchange of energy that I'm seeing here. And this person like really wants to do that. I'm getting that they finally realize that if there is an imbalance there, if there's an imbalance of giving and receiving, it's going to lead to it all falling down. And I think that's something that they didn't quite get in the past that you did, that you were doing all the giving, you were showing up in an energy that they weren't, and that isn't sustainable. And they're realizing now that it's not sustainable, that unless they are truly showing up and doing that, it is an inevitability that it's going to fall down because there's just simply an imbalance in the structure of it. And they realize that like, oh, I can't do that. Like, why would I even participate in something that I was actively sabotaging? And that's what I was doing. So this person is coming to you leading with emotions. And I'm getting that this is something in the past that they really held back on. I'm getting that like they were so stingy with their emotions in the past. And today, or whenever this happens, they are showing up trying to lead from that place. They're like, hey, this is how I feel. This is what I want. This is what I see. These are the dreams I have about you. These are the dreams I have for us. Like they're going to be attempting to tap into a part of them that they're pretty uncomfortable in, or they have been. Or it's not even that, you know, they're new there. You know, when you start a new job, you're a little awkward. You're not your full, true self because you don't know anybody yet. You're like, dang, I don't know, like, I don't know what I can get away with, you know? I don't know how much masking I have to do to be considered acceptable here. So that's how this person is. Like, he might come across like a little sneaky or something like that, but I don't think it's that. I think he's just like brand new. It's his first day. You gotta cut him some slack, you know? If you're mad at someone for being like bad at something on their first day, like, come on now. That's probably saying more about you than it is about that person. Like, have a little bit of understanding, a little grace for new people because you've been new at one point too. Dang, bestie. Okay. Bestie, I'm getting that this is definitely like an energy of like a past person returning. And I'm getting that for some of you, you're going to be kind of in your head about it. You're going to be pretty guarded against it because you're going to be worried about how things went in the past and you don't want to suffer like the way that you once suffered. You are really trying to avoid having to learn the same lesson twice, especially because this person burned you in the past. I'm seeing there's something here about it. One thing that might have you in your head about it too is how quickly moving the energy is. I'm seeing like this is going to be a pretty fast moving energy. Maybe this person is like, all right, I know what I want. Like, let's go, let's do it. And you're going to be like, I asked you for all this stuff back then. And it was like squeezing blood from a stone. And now you're just showing up and you're driving the car and you're saying you want to do all this stuff. Like, I don't know. Let's see if that's valid, bestie. Spirit, does my collective need to be suspicious? Bestie, I'm getting that you're just going to have to see if this person's words match their actions. Because in the past, how you knew they were full of crap was that they didn't. That the words they were saying to you were not backed up with tangible in real life steps. And they're saying like, if you want to know how this is going to go, they can't tell you right now because it's kind of up to this person to, you know, use their sea legs. We don't know how good they're going to be at it. They're just trying. So Spirit's like, if you want to see how this goes, you're going to have to stay in the game and you're going to have to mark and pay attention to whether this person's words and actions match. Let's see. You know, they've had the realization, but can they ground it? Can they walk the walk? You know, just because you can say all the good words doesn't mean that you can embody it. And this person has something to prove to everyone. To you, to themselves, to your guides, to their guides, to everyone that watched this fall apart before. Like, this person is really going to be under a microscope, I'm getting, in the spotlight. I'm also getting that this person might like really like attention, and that might be the thing that actually like makes them get their act together. If they know other people are watching and that if they look really good doing these things that they're supposed to be doing, that might be like a reason that they actually go through with them. So I don't know, bestie. Nobody's perfect. You got to play to your strengths. You know, everybody has something wrong with them. Everybody has something that needs to be worked on. Everybody has something that isn't quite that desirable. This person might just really like attention. They might really want and need validation from others. And that's not really their fault, you know? That sounds like a childhood wound that is still in the process of being healed. And in the meantime, you can play to that weakness. You know, you can transmute it into a strength. If this person knows that everyone's watching and they have something to prove, that might just be the whip and the carrot that gets this person to walk the straight and narrow. I love you.